Club Shay Shay is Shannon Sharpe's podcast.
That's a gay name.
Why you call it that?
Why does he name it that?
Why you name it that? I know. I think that's his nickname. And Mr. Sharpe, I'm not calling you gay either.
He would whoop the shit out of you.
And I would not mess with Mr. Shay Shay.
He's like 50 and yoked.
This is about control, everybody knows, everyone complies. We're the kinds of pros, I don't need a plane, I just hit the road, I do what I want, I can't sell my soul, market about to crash, this is what you chose, ruining the country, I think that's the goal, you gon' take the mark, I take narrow roads, I'm a man of God, I can never fold.
All right, here we go. Welcome to the Protect Your Purpose podcast, where we talk whiskey, business, friends, family, and freedom. I'm your host, Matt Marchese, and this is my co-host, Zach Grady. What is up, buddy?
I thought you were preparing these insults. That was nothing.
No, we're not. I changed my mind. We're not going to prepare anything for this show.
Okay.
We're going to jump right into it. What are we drinking today? Are we drinking today?
I don't think so.
Why aren't you drinking today?
We could.
I mean, I've broken my fast already today, so I'm currently not fasting.
I saw you smashing some pretzels.
Dude, don't worry about my pretzel intake.
Okay.
That's how we're starting the show off? You talking about me eating pretzels?
I didn't do any much better. I'm not
Listen,
disparaging you.
I opted to just jump right into this show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, before we get started, make sure you follow us on all of the things. Thank you for those of you who shared our show with our last pleas for shares and likes and participation in our movement.
Share the show, people.
Share the show.
Mm-hmm.
Good show last time.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it. Anyhow.
Since then, I got to give Brett a shout out. He was
Brett.
the Millard Business Association's Business of the Year.
Oh.
I know. Sounds fancy.
It does sound fancy. And then you were on another podcast. You were
I went
the
on
Sitting and Sipping Boys.
Went to hang out with those boys.
How was that?
Go and
I listened
support
to
them.
a part of it, but
It was fun.
yeah,
Yeah, they're just a bunch of goofy bastards. So
yeah, you did good.
it's a good time.
Yeah, enjoyed the little bit of it, the first maybe 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
That's the best part. So
Yeah.
don't go any farther than that.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but I've got a lot of shit to catch up on, and then
Yeah.
I then got recommend. Oh, which is why I decided I was going to hop into the show.
You're ready to go.
Well, we just started talking about Katt Williams, and
Yes.
he's a hot topic right now. I actually am. Well, I can tell you how far in I am because it's on the YouTubes. Where are you? I am 2 hours and 15 minutes into a 3 hour and 5 minute Joe Rogan podcast with Katt Williams.
Oh, okay.
Man, oh man.
He dropping some nuggets?
Dude. Well, first of all, it's hilarious because around 61 minutes, like 58 minutes or whatever, it's right at an hour. They basically, from that point on, are just high as a kite. So they just sit there in the studio, and you got to wonder how that conversation went on the front end where, did Katt Williams walk into Joe Rogan's studio and be like, so are we smoking weed today? And Joe Rogan's like, I mean, I guess we're smoking weed today. And then we're like, all right, can we smoke on the show? And he's like, well, I mean, that's how I do a show. And then boom, next thing you know, they're sitting there having these conversations, and an hour in, and you just see at one point, Joe Rogan's like, whoa, we got some really good weed, Katt. I'm trying to figure out how to participate in this conversation. He just goes straight dumb face, stoned, can't truly stoned, turned into stone.
The last couple hours are probably pretty interesting. Then.
Yeah, so then the last hour and 15 minutes, which is what I've got into it. I think that's what I said, 2:15. Man, you'll be mind blown. I'm excited to.
Will I be, though?
You will be.
Really?
I think so. Well, I don't know. I guess you're right. That's an unfair.
I will say, if you're mind blown,
I was mind blown.
then I probably will be too.
And
Because you believe a lot crazier shit than me at times. And if you're mind blown, it must be fucking crazy.
that's not why I'm mind blown.
Okay.
But you will be mind blown for that too. If you can dive into it with the same mindset, the same type of, the same frame of mind that I am listening to it, and that's from or watching it, and that's from a place where I am skeptical, as always. I mean, everyone knows that watches or listens to this show that I'm the eternal skeptic. You
Right.
know, I'm not believing shit you tell me unless you can prove it. In fact, if you tell me that and you are one of these, you know, X, Y, or Z entities or belong to an affiliate of those, you can actually tell me something's true, and I'm more likely to believe it's not than if you just wouldn't have told me shit and let me, like, when you tell me it's true, I'm like, now I know for sure it's not. Like, if you tell me this is true, if you tell me that is green, then I know for sure it's probably like orange, like your shirt.
A little off topic before you get started on that.
God, yeah, we're so off topic.
Now that the Democrats are bringing out Joe Biden as their candidate again this year, that makes me just believe even more so that he is a puppet. Like that, how is that convincing people he's not? He can't be the best person on.
No, dude.
Like,
they tied their own hands. So yeah, we'll go into that too. And Nikki Haley, my wife, just told me yesterday, maybe, or the day before, that Nikki Haley dropped out of the race.
She's getting her fucking ass kicked.
Well, yeah, but I thought for sure that the Democrats were going to continue to fund her. Anyway, I don't know. I was surprised by that. But they've backed themselves into a corner, so they can't. It's too early right now for them to pull him off the ballot, because then he'll be like a lame duck. He won't do any. You know, we won't take him seriously. It will make things more difficult
for the remainder
for them to push the
Gotcha.
the rest of their agenda for the rest of the year. If they did that, he's not going to be the fucking candidate. Like, I'm going on the record today, this Friday or whatever day this airs, March 8th.
He may not make it that long. Like,
dude,
every time you see him, he's like worse off than he was the last time. It's like, what
dude,
the hell?
there's no way he's the candidate. They're gonna. It's a bait and switch. It's yep, we're doing this because this is what we have to do, and then at some point, they're gonna. I think dude, Michelle Obama is probably the most likely candidate.
Really?
Big Mike.
Okay. Big Mike
is for sure gonna be.
Okay.
Anyway, listen. The reason why I jumped right into this.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hold on. We'll.
That's all right.
Honey, what do you got for us?
Whoa, we're getting treats in the middle of this.
What is it? Oh, you got a tea?
I did get a tea this time.
Oh, we got proteins, protein shakes.
This one looks interesting.
And are you hiding yourself from the camera?
Wait, it ain't going.
Why are you doing that? Well, thank you. Appreciate you, honey. You're getting your ass on the next show. So prepare yourself. The audience wants you. They need you. They need more Lindy.
They've been requesting.
They have been requesting more Lindy. Jesus, you were violent with that mix, bro.
It looked like it was settling. I had to fix it.
Yeah, it looked like a glob of poison at the bottom of that. Surely my protein shake is no better. Anyway, so yeah, full circle back. We can get to all these topics, okay? But here's the deal. Katt Williams, the reason why my mind was blown is when Katt Williams speaks, he's also, like I said, I mean, very high and obviously high. And the higher he got, the more like high he appeared. Like he gets high. But he did say, I think maybe in that Club Shay Shay interview, that Snoop Dogg, like he outsmoked Snoop Dogg, and he was like the OG weed smoker and the first guy to ever like hire someone to roll his joints for him, like a professional joint roller.
Katt was, or
yeah, that's what Katt Williams is. I think he's the self-proclaimed first.
Okay.
Star or two. Like, that's how big of a weed guy he is. I think I don't know, something like.
Side note.
In an interview.
Do you enjoy his comedy? It's kind of annoying comedy to me in a way.
So yeah, I can see. Yes, I do. But yeah, he has an annoying voice.
Yeah.
He's just annoying. So
it's like a Gilbert Godfrey type thing, maybe.
Yeah,
it's hard to listen to sometimes.
And that's totally him, and he's very weird. But my mind was blown because of the content that he is putting out of the conversations. The level of depth that Katt Williams has regarding skepticism and history And it's like, dude, he is right on pace with Rogan.
Smarter than he looks.
He's right on pace with Joe Rogan. Like he's like, holy shit, dude, this is like, you have that much information stored in that brain on, the ancient Egyptians and aliens and space travel and like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, although his voice is very still annoying, and Joe Rogan's microphones are like, I mean, it's this microphone, but
yeah, they're good.
I don't know. Their audio seems to be better than ours because you can hear like every gulp or slurp in Katt Williams, So it's like listening to annoying voice ASMR. If you can get through all of that,
it's a lot of good information.
I mean, I don't know if it's good information or not. And I think
information.
It's very interesting, and it's a very interesting perspective that he takes. And which is why I decided I was going to start this camera or start rolling without discussing it, because we started talking about Matt Rife.
Yeah.
And what led to that? Oh, you were watching a video. Roll that. Play that thing.
we can roll that.
Yeah.
Nima Yamini. Never heard of this guy.
Whoever that is.
Yeah, he's a comedian apparently, but here we go.
Exposed. Thanks to one of the true kings of comedy, Katt Williams.
Okay, that's what you're referencing.
You know, before I became wealthy in business, I actually had a somewhat successful career in stand-up comedy. I was on the way up. I was invited to a meeting with some Hollywood executives, along with some now famous comedian, and we were offered the chance for a deal at Online Stardom. But the only way to receive the contract was by sucking both of the execs off. Huh. I immediately got up and walked to the door. But before I could even exit, the other comedian was sucking both of their simultaneously. That guy's name was Matt Rife.
Bro.
Ooh.
And that's Alpha King.
Shots fired.
$7.99. Just because someone is more famous than you, it doesn't mean they're better. They might just be gayer.
They might just be gayer. That's so good. And
so
listen,
call that what you want. Some dude throwing shade because he's jealous. Or
here's what I'm gonna do. I've got a lot of friends. You know, I make it a point to try and keep. I try to make as many friends that are more successful than me as possible. And I'm gonna send that video to all of the friends that I have that are more successful than me. And I'm gonna tell them, listen, just because you're more successful than me, it doesn't mean you're actually better. It just might mean you're gayer. I'm gonna send that to Kunkel.
But I mean, I do. I know you do too. Truly believe that you get to a certain point of fame, and they have a similar conversation like that to you. Like, are you on this side or are you not,
bro? When Matt Rife hit the scene, you know, from the ugly little goofy ugly squirrel kid
on
Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, Wild 'N Out.
Okay. To all of a sudden, Matt Rife, out of actual fucking nowhere. This guy's show ticket. He's selling out events, adding second and third events in towns, selling out and then reselling tickets for $300, $400, $500 in the back. And I looked at it and said, Brooke, she's my COO or president, whatever you want to call her. She has her own title. She gives herself. Yeah. Brooke was like, hey, I want to go to this show. Can you get me tickets? So my answer to her is, why do you want to go to this show? And she's like, oh my God, man.
All the ladies want to go to
right. And I'm like, no. Where did he come from? Don't tell me you. And my immediate response was, he's a made man. He did it. He signed the contract. He sucked the D.
Whether it's
whatever that contract is. Yep. Whatever that contract is.
And from what I've seen, like the most I know about him is like his crowd work on TikTok and stuff, which
he's a funny guy.
Seems to be good. But his actual stand up, like his special he did, garbage.
Was it trash?
Not good at all, dude.
Wow.
For anybody that knows comedy, like I don't know if fortunately or unfortunately for himself, got a lot of like non-comedy fans. He just got females that thought he was hot, you know, not necessarily fans of comedy or, you know, how comedy works. The contract. But his actual comedy is not good, in my opinion. I did not think it was that great. But crowd work seems to be good. But to your point,
Bro, get out
where
of
the
here.
fuck did he come from?
And then this guy, I don't know. Who was this guy again? You don't know. Whatever his name was. You said it already?
Yeah,
That guy.
that guy.
He does a funny joke about it and says, that dude sucked the dick, but Katt Williams.
Okay, yeah, get into
Okay.
that because I don't know exactly
So
what
Katt
I haven't
Williams.
heard any of this.
Did you
yet.
listen to or watch the club Shay Shay?
I haven't.
Dude, you got to do both of those. But
Okay.
it's going to be like a 6-hour commitment.
It's a half day, and I can do it on the payroll, right?
Oh yeah,
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 okay.
for sure. Yeah. That's. I mean, no big deal. We'll just get you. We have the podcast studio, which is where we are today, right now, and then we have the podcast listening room.
Oh,
It's where you go into a quiet Zen place. Nobody bothers you.
put in your AirPods,
There's-
noise
Yep.
cancellation.
There's a slot in the door, where the beautiful women will serve you cocktails if you'd like through the slot in the door.
Yes.
The glory hole,
I w-
if you
the
will.
cocktail glory
Yeah,
hole.
the cocktail glory hole. No, I don't really care when you do it, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll
you
do it.
should do it.
I'll check 'em
But be warned, like it's a long commitment to Katt Williams, to that fucking annoying voice.
The Club Shay Shay one's just as long, or what?
I think the Shay Shay one was maybe maybe like 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Something. I mean, it was long.
Right.
And I think the Joe Rogan one, I think I said is what, 3.5 or 3 hours.
So you listened to that one first,
The Shay Shay one
and then
came
that
out
got
first.
you
yeah.
into checking out Rogan? one, or-
No, I listen to anyone. I cherry pick Rogan episodes,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So if I know who they are, and I'm interested in that, I mean, I'm very much cherry picking. There's people who I know who they are, and I'm very much not interested in what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Most of those are like the, I don't know. Actually, not most. I mean, I'm not super into the UFC ones unless
Right.
they come recommended, or like the nutrition ones unless they're recommended. But if I know who it is that's going on the show,
It
then
seems like a lot more of his episodes are leaning that direction now more than
yeah.
they used to anyway.
So if I know someone, I listen to him, or if it's recommended. But when I saw Katt Williams, I was like, oh, Katt's on some controversial shit right now. I better take a listen to that as soon as I can. So, and then I had another one, which was on this dude. His name is Brian Mirab something cuckoo or whatever. He is the guy that I was telling you about that studies the psychedelics. And he wrote a book on it. Dude, it's another 3-hour investment. But holy shit, if you want to know more about like psychedelics and, you know, psilocybin and, you know, mushrooms.
He wasn't on Joe Rogan, was he?
He was on Rogan.
Oh, he was on Rogan.
Yeah. So I got finished with that one, and then I actually started his book, and then Katt popped up while I was listening to that one. I'm like, fuck, I got to go back-to-back Rogans here. So I hopped right over to Katt Williams, but just a crazy perspective. I mean, he straight up all but says, you know, the aliens built the pyramids, you idiots. Like, we know why. But the more, you know, the deeper they got into that episode, the higher they got, the more fucking bizarre their conversation got. It was crazy, but Katt Williams explains that in great detail. How, it's rigged. You get put in that position. And he gives a lot of, you know, firsthand encounters and personal experiences that say, yeah, and he said, and they can't do anything about it.
So
If I was lying, they would sue me. Wait for the lawsuits to come in. And he basically says, the reason why they can't sue me for this, the reason why I can say this shit is because it's true and I can prove it.
So
And they know that.
I guess I would. Maybe I don't consider Katt Williams like uber successful, but he's talking about the guys that go big. Like, because he's fairly big. Like, most people would know who Katt Williams is if you said his
Katt
name.
Williams is very big.
So what did he do? Like, or he just didn't get to superstardom.
Yeah, I mean, he you got to listen to it. Yeah, he tells his story on, it was the Shay Shay episode. I mean, he tells how he got started. It's tough to follow. You have to know a little bit about it, but he talks about like, you know, Friday and, you know, early casting in movies and how he was broke as shit and how he was a comedian. You know, the pathway for comedians is eventually
Living out of your car for a while.
Right. It's living out of your car. late nights, shows, bars and that scene, late nights, grinding city to city, living out of your car type, up to, getting paid for shows, up to, getting bigger and then going into TV, having specials and then going into, TV acting or movies. Like the pathway is that. And he tells very personal encounters and stories of basically him saying, dude, it's nuts. I mean, he talks about Hollywood rituals where they make you wear a dress. And he's like, no, man, I would go in and I would say, yeah, I would, audition for the role. I would get the role or whatever. And he would say, hey, creatively, I don't think I need to wear a dress in this movie. And then he won't get the role. And he was like, and the next thing you know, I turn around and Kevin Hart's got a dress on in the movie in the role. And it's like, oh. And he's like, people think it's just funny. It's not funny. It's a ritual. And it's a ritual, what they do.
So they're writing in certain things in scripts to see if people do them?
No, it's ritual. I mean, yeah, not to see if they'll do them. You have to do them in order to get the role.
Right.
Why? Because it's an agenda. It's a part of the agenda. And that's why he's like, oh, yeah, you can always tell who got what. He was like, because that's it.
Did he say what movie he was referencing in that one?
He did, but I don't remember which ones they are because what the hell do I care? But it's like Friday or he talks about Martin. And, dude, it's crazy, but it's hard to follow.
He's all over the place?
He's all over the place, but it's just like if you don't know a lot about the situation, then you got to kind of really dive into it, and you have to study it. Like I rewind a lot when I listen to those because if I'm going to spend 3 hours listening, like a 3-hour podcast will oftentimes take me a week.
Yeah.
Because I'll listen to the first hour and it'll take me, not to mention interruptions, phone calls. I'm trying to squeeze them in usually. I get in the sauna, I'll try and listen to 30 minutes or whatever. But in that 30 minutes, I daydream off for a minute and I start thinking about what it was.
What the fuck did he just say?
So then I'm rewinding. I mean, that hour will take me 2 hours easily. Yeah. But I'm trying to dive in and understand what he's saying. So you probably have to do that unless you can, reference it pretty quickly because you don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
So you have to let it digest for a second, figure it out. But yeah, dude, he talks about how he didn't get roles. Hollywood's rigged. You got to be gay. You got to suck a dick. And he mentions that, I'm proud to have gotten here with a virgin asshole because
really?
Yeah.
Golly,
because most don't. He talks about Puff Daddy, bro. Like he goes off the chain on just everybody.
Throwing in all the names out there.
Yep. So that's on the Club Shay Shay one. The Rogan one, the first, I can only speak for the first 2 hours and 15 minutes, like I said.
Sure.
Is all
even crazier shit.
It's none of the Hollywood shit. I mean, very, very briefly, he touched on the fact that Hollywood is not. It's an arm of the system. It's an arm of the propaganda machine of the psyop. And they're in big business. And when they want to deliver a message, they deliver it creatively through Hollywood. Entertainment is a byproduct.
Vessel.
Yeah, entertainment is just a byproduct of the delivering of the information that they want, of shaping our brains and making controlling our thought, like predictive programming. So he touches on that briefly, but it's a lot about God. And Katt he's positive, like that, our creator created like you would build a house. He built the earth, the solar system, whatever that actually is. And he talks about, the circle of life, how everything was created perfectly. Dude, very interesting. Yeah, I mean, just fucking listen to it.
I'm gonna have to now.
You have to. And he was impressive. I can tell you, it's gonna be easy. Oh, that's I forget that guy's name, Brian Miracow or whatever it is. I'm gonna look it up.
Psychedelic dude.
The psychedelic dude, but he also talks about it. But basically, Katt kind of goes down this path of understanding that there are different galaxies and the history of the use of this psychedelic shit. Katt kind of goes down that path too, but the difference between the two is the author of this book he's never done this any of the psychedelic drugs. So he has maintained this position of my opinion is not due to any personal use of drugs. I've never done this. So all of his findings are done from research. Yep. So the reason I'm saying that is because when you're listening to Katt Williams and Joe Rogan, who are obviously passing a joint back and forth and who are getting more and more stoned by the literal minute, and their conversation starts to tail off more and more crazy, it's easy to point to that and be like, these guys are high as a kite. Right. They're just super high, talking about super high shit. But on the flip side of that, there is, research that backs this. So I'm trying to like decipher what is them just being super high and what it's a very hard.
Much like psychedelics, like, because you're saying this guy, people do this to open up their minds and expand their brains. I guess so, bro. I mean, weed'll do that. So a lot of people think you're just getting high and talking crazy. Are you? Or are you just thinking more clearly? Like,
yeah, dude. Or are you expanding your...
Because it's easy to point to talking about shit like that as this person's crazy, this person's insane. There's no way that ever happened. But
in this conversation with Katt Williams and Joe Rogan, it was very easy to do that with.
Right. That's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, it's very easy to be like, holy shit, they're talking about space and this, aliens. It's easy to be like, yeah, man, the aliens built the pyramids, you dummies. But the breakdown of, what the pyramid, the geometric shapes that were used, and Katt brings up a good point of, if there was another being outside of Earth, an alien, that discovered Earth, and they were going to put one big structure here on the Earth, it would be the pyramids.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what I do know or believe is that it wasn't built. Oh, they say it was built. That's all I know.
How do they say it was built? With ropes and people?
Yeah, like I don't even know what year. What year are we talking?
I don't know.
But you're telling me
no way.
Yeah.
And
like I don't even know if we could do that BC. Now.
No. No. I don't know what they say is the actual way, but yeah, there are several things that I've heard, all of which sound like guesses.
2780 BC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we even have ropes back then? Like anything, dude. Like we're in. That's insane, dude.
Bro, here's what they also said on this episode, which was interesting to me, was, I don't remember if it was this episode. Maybe it was another one. But I think Rogan said the mistake we make as a society is to believe that there were never a smarter society than us. Like we believe we are the most advanced of all societies.
Right.
But if we take that, which is likely untrue, if not likely, I mean, what if, right?
What if?
It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible that we weren't the smartest societies, and if we weren't the smartest societies and had the most advanced technology and had the most advanced systems, then what are the pyramids? then what is our history? Like, it changes your perspective of all of history.
Right.
Like we're starting over maybe. So that was an interesting perspective. But yeah, man, I don't know. The Hollywood shit, that's what why I decided to just fire this thing off, because hopping into the Matt Rife topic, being fresh on my mind with Katt Williams and him talking about the cult that is Hollywood. Dude, it's nuts.
It's hard not to believe at this point.
If you don't believe it at this point, it's because you are brainwashed. Like I believe that. Like, and brainwashed, I mean, obviously is a bad thing. But if you don't believe it at this point, it's because you have been pumped full of whatever the opposite information is, and led to believe that for whatever reason, so again, whatever the motive is, you're led to believe something else, because in a vacuum, if you were to take this scenario, it would make crisp sense, like the most clear sense of all.
And think about a lot of the people that come onto the scene. Like you had mentioned Jelly Roll before, like,
Oh yeah,
and Matt Rife, for instance,
and
like
Post Malone
like,
and 21 Savage.
these guys are talented, but not like over the top talented, you know. Like
No.
Jelly Roll's voice isn't great. Like,
I like that one song, that Son of a Sinner song.
yeah, he's got some good
I'm
jams.
just alone.
Yeah, he's got
That
good
song.
jams, but he's not over the top talented. Like, these are just anybody. They could have been anybody.
He's very much not attractive.
No, I think he's got a hot wife though, doesn't he?
Of course he does, because like
You
Katt
think she
Williams
was
said-
planted also?
well, Katt Williams says,
Oh,
you-
maybe that was part of the deal.
yeah. He's like,
Oh.
all of them get a hot wife. They all get a hot white wife. That's what he said. He's like, that never talk. They never get interviewed. You never get to hear who they are.
I do think Jelly Roll's wife has a podcast or something.
I think Jelly Roll's wife, I think I heard him during a podcast or an interview or something say that his wife goes out like at his shows and like gets chicks to come back to their trailer with him and have threesomes with him. I think he like said that in an interview. Like he was
what kind of
open about it.
contract do I have to sign?
Give me the. Do you want my blood?
Give me the contract.
Give me the contract. What kind of contract do I have to sign to get this? I'm not that talented. I'm
No?
mediocre in the looks department.
Here we go.
You know, an average 5'10" and shrinking. Anyway, all right. Well, good. That was a fun topic. Watch that.
I'm going to.
Yeah, and Joe Rogan, proud sponsor of the Protect Your
Yeah.
Purpose
He
podcast.
might be if we reached out.
Yeah, dude, we basically look, dude, we do shows talking about your shows. It's a whole episode. We're gonna call this the Joe Rogan Experience. Don't do that. We're not gonna call this the Joe Rogan Experience.
No.
But in fact, that not trademarked, not approved for use. YouTube, anyone, not our deal. We know what we can call it. The Protect Your Purpose Experience. He can't possibly have the word experience trademarked in the podcast.
He's a smart
world.
businessman, though.
He's got a lot of money. I don't know that he's a smart businessman.
Well,
I think he's a smart man. I don't know that he's a smart businessman.
okay.
I mean, does he do any other business?
I guess
he
I
does
don't
that.
know what he does.
He said he's. I don't remember what it was,
Come to think of it, how the fuck did Joe Rogan get so rich?
bro.
Uh-huh.
So that's the question, right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden,
All he was a
Joe
comedian
Rogan.
/ UFC guy.
I don't know. He did Fear Factor.
Yeah, that critically acclaimed. I'm sure he got loaded off of that show.
What's that one comedian's name? That Mexican, Carlos Mencia, maybe.
Oh, okay.
I think Joe Rogan had some beef with Mencia back in the day
Oh, that'd be good.
because
That'd be
he was stealing jokes. You can Google it.
Oh yeah,
And like Rogan, like maybe at like
Mencia was stealing jokes, right?
Yeah, Mencia was stealing jokes, and then Rogan like approached him on stage one time, and we were like, "Oh."
There's a couple of big comedians that got busted for it. Didn't Dane Cook get called out for stealing jokes and shit?
And Katt Williams talked about Cedric the Entertainer on the Shay Shay show.
Ooh.
And can we talk about how gay Shay Shay is? I feel gayer.
I didn't
Every
want to
time
say
I
it,
say
but I'm
that.
not 100% sure who that is.
Shannon Sharpe.
Oh,
Club Shay Shay is Shannon Sharpe's podcast.
that's a gay name.
Why you call it that?
Why does he name it that?
Why you name it that? I know. I think that's his nickname. And Mr. Sharpe, I'm not calling you gay either.
He would whoop the shit out
And
of you.
I would not mess with Mr. Shay Shay.
He's like 50 and yoked.
Yep. Listen up, Mrs. Shay Shay.
So he does a.
Yeah, he's
I
got
get
like the
it.
number
So it's
one
not
podcast.
a sports podcast. It's just
No,
That's
it's
good.
a
That's
it's a
cool.
people podcast. Yeah, it's cool. It's very awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good show,
Check it
and he's a really good interviewer. He's solid, but he is a very he's just charismatic. You know, he's just got he's likable and shit. But he's not a great interviewer. He's very neutral. He's not. No, I think he's a great interviewer. He's not a journalist. Like he's not.
He's not digging.
No. He's trying to be friends with everybody. He doesn't want any enemies, and that's very clear. Doesn't seem too much like a conspiracy theorist.
But not all of them are like that.
Yeah, but I also don't think he's a made man. I don't think he's in the club. He seems very neutral.
He is on ESPN, though, so.
I don't know, though, and he's got that big old podcast now. But Katt Williams came on, and he was like, what? He was like, you finna get me canceled, Katt. And he was like, get you canceled? He's like, I'm about to blow up your show. Like, your whole show just changed. Like, this is going to be your biggest show ever. You're going to wait till you see all the people. When you establish this as a place of truth, wait till you see your guests that you come on here.
Yeah.
And sure as shit, dude, they thought they were going to go from like 3 million or 7 million or 10 million views or something. And I don't know how many it has. Honey, look up that club Shay Shay Katt Williams. Never mind.
Is it on YouTube?
On YouTube, yeah. And I mean, I bet it's got, I don't know.
He blew
50.
up.
Oh, yeah, 50 million. I mean, yeah, Club Shay Shay went through the roof when Katt Williams.
61.
Yeah, there you go. They were like, if it got to 10 million or something or 7 million or something, it was like going to shatter records. And they were like, this shit's going to go to 15 million or 20 million or whatever. And look at it.
Joe Rogan's one only has 12 million so far. So.
Yeah. Club Shay. That Katt Williams episode, like, broke the internet, man. On Club Shay Shay. You got to listen to it. What do you call yourself a podcast host?
I'm still upset that he goes by Shay Shay.
Yeah, we'll send an email. We should send an email to his, what do they call it? His publicist and his brand team and let him know that Shannon Sharpe needs some shit that's less gay than Shay Shay. I'm a poet.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well done.
All right.
Well done.
Fun episode. Thanks for joining me, Mr. Zach.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
I promised I'd get you out of here in 30 or less minutes.
You did?
Failed promise, so I'm just kidding. I didn't. Anyway. All right. Appreciate you coming in. Thanks for the show. And to our people all across the world, we've got quite the following in India.
Really?
Yeah. At least on our
salutations.
It was our Instagram. It was like our second largest market.
Bonjour.
When we were hitting those viral ones on the, when the millions.
Oh yeah.
There was like hundreds of thousands of people in India that were engaging with our short form content. Crazy, right? Anyway,
bring it on.
Love you all very much. Thank you so much for listening and being a part of our show again. Zach, thanks for the excellent conversation with Matt Rife.
And if you want to be famous, you now know the path.
Yeah, and Katt Williams on both Club Gay Gay and Joe Rogan will explain a clearer path to fame, and it is yours to take if you'd like it. So, thank you all for listening. Appreciate your love and support as always, people. Find your purpose, serve your purpose, and protect your purpose, people. Peace.